Hi, my name's Amanda Reimer. I'm a graduate student at Full Sail University in the Educational Media Design and Technology program. I'm also a full-time biology teacher at Olive Branch High School in Olive Branch, Mississippi. This video is the final presentation that documents the course of my action research project. I'd like to take you along on this video and show you how I identified a problem at my school. I formulated a plan of attack to solve the problem. I analyzed what the current literature said about using technology in my classroom, and then I formulated a plan of attack, creating 2 cycles of implementation. Then I polled my students, gathered my documentation, analyzed my results, and formed a conclusion. And what I found is, if we build a better classroom through technology, students will learn. I identified the problem for my action research project as a lack of motivation in our students that leads to poor attendance and a lack of authentic learning. I created a field of dreams approach to teaching where I attempted to build a classroom around technology that would motivate the students to actually come to class and learn. I got this information from a pre-survey that I gave to my students, from talking to my coworkers and to my cohort. In my search of peer-reviewed literature, I found several examples of researchers who found great success in education by using technology. Many of the authors stated, though, that it wasn't just the use of technology, it was how the technology was used, how well the teachers were trained, how the technology was paired with objectives, and how much learning theory was actually used. Several of the researchers found that technology did increase performance in the classroom. They also found that technology went well with brain-based learning approaches, using games to create active learning to get the brain moving and oxygen flowing. Several of the researchers also gave specific examples of tools that we would want to use in the classroom, from interactive whiteboards to student response systems, Web 2.0 tools, apps on iDevices, web quests, webcasts, podcasts, sims, blogs, wikis. You name it, it can be used. As I was formulating this plan for integrating technology into my classroom, I decided that I wanted to use a combination of Web 2.0 tools and tools that students were already familiar with and already using, namely their phones and their iPods. So the first activity that I designed had the students creating a concept map with concepts that we were using in class using a Web 2.0 tool called Poplet. I was completely blown away at the way my students took to the project without any input from me or any teaching from me. They absolutely loved it. This was a great success. The second activity that I came up with that I used in both cycles was a comic strip analogy, using their phones and the iPod touches that we have for class to take pictures of things around the school and comparing them to parts of the cell. As you can see from these photos, my students had a ball taking pictures, which is what they really want to do, but they also learned a new skill as they presented their pictures in a comic strip that we hung out on the wall in the hall for everyone to see. My final activity that I only used during Cycle 2 was the recording of an original music video with lyrics and movements for my students. This was by far the most successful activity that we did, and the one that students said they would love to do again. I think that it could be overused in the classroom, but it's something that I'll definitely do 1 or 2 more times next year in my next class. It was so popular that the other teachers actually used it in their class as review before we had our state test. Students reported that they actually used the lyrics and remembered the song when it came time to answer questions on the state test, and that was a really big motivating factor for me. This activity takes advantage of teenagers obvious need to present things musically. They love to create lyrics, they love music, and it doesn't matter what style of music it is, they really get into it. And I think this is a way that teachers can encourage students to learn concepts using music by allowing them to create something that is new and original. And also you can see the hand movements are what they remembered on the test. That was the trigger that helped them remember how to get the questions right. So I think this is something that I will use in the future, allowing them to create more songs and write their own lyrics. I learned in our classes that having them write their own rap songs is a very, very valuable skill. In a post-survey administered after 6 weeks of technology in the classroom, my students reported higher motivation to attend school and a much broader understanding of the technology that could be used in their classrooms, and they were quick to name their favorite technologies and which classes they wished used technology, just like we did in biology. In fact, 2 of my students wrote their persuasive essays in English in the second semester about using technology in classroom and why they thought it was important and the benefits to the students. So I asked them to come and sit for an interview about using technology. Today I'm interviewing Isaiah Taylor and Brandon. How did you feel when you started biology? How'd you feel about science class?
I thought I was going to do bad because I was early in the morning and didn't feel like doing anything, but made class fun by using iPods and stuff.
And so, did you feel more motivated to come to class?
Yes, I don't think I missed like 1 or 2 days.
And what about staying awake? Was it easier to stay awake?
Yes, because I was having fun.
Yeah, because you were having fun. Brandon, what about you? How much experience did you have with technology before you started biology?
Shoot, not a lot. Just had a couple things around the house, computer.
And when you left class, what did you want more than anything? iPod. Have you got one now? Was there one activity we did that you thought was fun?
Making that song off the iPad thing. That was my favorite.
Doing the comic strips.
Can you think of another class where you wish they would integrate some technology so it would be more fun?
English.
English?
Well, like you could type the word in and tell you like different meanings and stuff. Like different forms of it.
What about a comic strip, Brandon? Think you could use comic strips in English?
Different types of words and the figurative language and like nouns, adverbs, stuff like that.
Kids will come to class more prepared and they'll have more fun learning and want to.
All right, that's good. How about you, Brandon?
It'd be easier and be more hands-on, and they have reason to come to school.
Yeah, it would be a lot of fun, huh? All right, thank you guys. I appreciate you coming and doing an interview for me. I plan to add the learning management system Schoology to my class next year. I think this will be a great way to have students be able to work on material outside of class. They can watch videos, they can look at extra instructional videos, especially if they are absent for a day or if they have to go on a school-sponsored trip. And the reason I chose Schoology is that it's in a format students are familiar with. It's very much like Facebook. It also has a mobile platform that's available for them on their iPhones or their Android-based phones, which will make it much easier for students to check their objectives at night or on the go, and it'll also make it easier for them to keep up with assignments and when things are due. I think this is another way to help me build a better classroom.